Hey, I'm joining the X Force, and you wanna know my power is? It's reviewing movies. So yeah, I'm going to watch all the X Force, the other members fight Cable, and I'm going to judge based on their performance to see if they're able to deliver awesome action and great narrative or not. Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Stews here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I am going to be doing a review on Deadpool 2. So, Deadpool 2 is the second installment in the Deadpool franchise, and it's one of the last Fox Marvel films, and is directed by David Leitch, and came out in the year 2018, just a couple of weeks after the movie event of that year, Avengers Infinity War, which is still my favorite film of 2018, by the way. And it stars Ryan Reynolds, Josh Brolin, Julian Dennison, Zazie Beetz, TJ Miller, Leslie Ugams, Karen Sonny, Brianna Hidleb, Brand, yeah, Morena Bakarin, Stefan Kapiki, you know what, yeah, D- Rob Denali, Louis Stan, Bill Skarsgård, Terry Crews, Brad Pitt, etc. And so the film tells the story of Wade Wilson, who faces his biggest challenge in his life, and that is losing the love of his life, Vanessa, after Vanessa gets killed by a goon. So yeah, he goes from this happy-go-lucky comedic fourth wall breaking kind to a broken and depressed hero. Yeah, it really impacts him. But then as he grows to become more aggressive than ever, he pretty much Colossus invites Deadpool into the X-Men manor, and yeah, to see if Deadpool is ready to join X-Men now that he has the title of X-Men trainee currently. So meanwhile, Deadpool must face a new challenge when he is tasked to to pretty much stop a kid named Fire Fist. Fire Fist, real name. Well, I actually forgot his real name. I'll just call him Fire Fist the whole time. Yeah, Fire Fist. But yeah, it turns out Deadpool chose to help Fire Fist instead after suspecting that the people around him inside the manor, including the headmaster, played by Eddie Marsan. For I mentioned his name, I think I don't remember whatever. Yeah, Eddie Marsan. And so after Deadpool aggressively kills people, he ends up in prison along with Fire Fist. So yeah, the two have a minor team up, and while in prison, a mercenary from the future named Cable goes back in time to pretty much stop Fire Fist as a kid from existing, in order to prevent him from killing his family. But Deadpool viewing upon viewing Deadpool viewing Cable as a villain, pretty much join sides with Fire Fist and stops Cable. And in order to do that, he forms a team of X Force to stop Cable and protect Fire Fist. But it turns out their real enemy they must stop it is actually the headmaster. But in order to do that, they actually must stop Fire Fist from trying to kill the headmaster, because it'll make things worse. So yeah, that's the plot for it. So now the first Deadpool film. Just to recap on the first Deadpool film. While I wouldn't go as far as calling it one of the greatest comic book films of all time, and not quite really a film I love with a passion, it's still a superhero masterpiece, and it is a savior to not only the reputation of the character, but also R-rated superhero films. Because just when we thought that just when we all thought it was going to be hard to review R-rated superhero flicks, rated superhero flicks. Well, at the very least, yeah, Deadpool. The success of Deadpool is what gave us more of these more of these R-rated projects. And yeah, Deadpool is stylish, unique, funny. It breaks the superhero formula quite a bit, and it's still awesome. So yeah, it's only a matter of time before they make Deadpool 2, and it is one of the most anticipated films of 2018, just by how good the first film is. Yeah, and also seeing that Josh Brolin it is going to be in this made the film get 10 times more hype, especially when this is literally the second Marvel movie with Josh Brolin in it. The first time being the first being Thanos from Infinity War. So yeah, now yes, I know that Deadpool 2 isn't as well received as the first. So technically the ratings, the critic ratings, the reception, it's actually on par with the first film, but when you actually read the internet reviews, a lot of them were saying that it's actually a massive downgrade from the first film, and yes, saying it's like slightly inferior, whether it's good or not. That's like the overall consensus of the film. Yeah, and for the longest time, I've always preferred this over the first film, whether it's yeah, I would prefer this over the first film ever since I saw it for the first time. Which yeah, just like Deadpool 1, I saw this movie online because like what I said, cinemas are still strict with the R ratings. I mean, if it wasn't if I lived in the U.S., I would have watched. I would have actually watched this in the first theaters, because I heard that they're not as strict in the U.S., but in my country they're very strict with this one. This film was rated R16. I was only 14, so I could have watched this, but I didn't. Sucks. It's honestly a shame that I saw Solo Star Wars Story. A very mid film. Yeah, Solo, that mid forgettable film. Oh well, actually, at least Solo is. At least Solo Star Wars Story is watchable in theaters. It's like theater worthy, so I'll give it that. But yeah, Deadpool 2 is miles better. So yeah, and yeah, I mean it's still well liked, but just not as much as the first film. And the more over time, there are people who say that this movie is underwhelming. And actually, yeah, underwhelming. It actually like lacks what made the first film great. Now, I know my good friend Harry Thomas Pictures despises this film. Thankfully he doesn't call it the worst X-Men film. At the time, because I mean at the time he called it the worst X-Men film ever made. But now, yeah, I mean I know that Harry Thomas doesn't like it, but I mean, I can actually respect his opinion. Yeah, so Harry Thomas, I respect your opinion, but to me personally, I'm certainly with the majority that I love Deadpool 2. I think Deadpool 2 is fantastic. And in fact, it's just as good as the first film. Now, while the first Deadpool did grow with me in rewatch, I kind of almost thought that I was like thinking, what if I actually end up preferring Deadpool 1 over this film after all these years? Well, I gotta say, yeah, I think both Deadpool films are on par. So comparing this to the first film, I think both this and Deadpool 1 are tied for me. As yeah, there's no there's not really a competition on which Deadpool film is better. So I'm gonna treat them equally and say they're both pretty much equal. So yeah, yep, yeah, they're both equal, but yeah, they're both certainly masterpieces, fantastic films, and they are certainly top tier X-Men films. Yeah, they are among my top 5 favorite X-Men films of all time. So yeah, So yeah, now yeah, I can totally see both sides of people who prefer the first film say and say that the sequel is inferior, and the other side of people who say that this sequel is better than the first film. What makes both these Deadpool films tied is how they stand out in their own ways. The first Deadpool film is a better comic book film. Yeah, it is a better comic book and superhero film because of when it comes to what people consume these Deadpool movies for. The first film did it better. The action in the first film is vastly superior because the action in the first one was a lot faster and bloodier as well, and also it's a lot more stylish as well. It feels well, it feels more exciting and more well choreographed, especially with like all these like cool stunts that Deadpool was able to pull off. Yeah, it's like the action in this film was kind of slower, and it felt a little more normal, like felt like normal superhero action, and there's like slightly less blood in it, but that's not a bad thing at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing this film's action. I think it's still awesome, but just not as awesome as the first film. Yeah, and at least the action is still awesome. There's that. I think this undeniably the first had a better villain. Say what you want about Ajax. I know Ajax. Some people like are not a fan of Ajax, but at least Ajax was like a felt like a legit super villain and had more screen time. The villain in this film is basically just a regular human being, but who goes by the name of Headmaster. Yeah. I know people. Yeah. I know Wikipedia says that Fire Fist is the main villain of the film, but he's more of the film's anti-hero alongside Deadpool, while Headmaster is the true evil guy here. Yeah, and I will say, I don't criticize I'm not gonna criticize Headmaster and say he's not a good villain. He is the weakest part of the film. I actually understand why he had less screen time. Why he didn't have a lot of screen time as a villain? Because he wasn't really the main focus. And pretty much Fire Fist's goal is to try and stop the headmaster and get back to him. And the headmaster is just a regular guy, so it's not like he's gonna try and chase the others or something. And I thought, yeah, even though headmaster isn't really a quote unquote super villain, he's just like this evil scientist, kind of like on the same, like kind of like he's like basically a striker type of villain. Yeah. At least though there's still rivals for them to face off, like Juggernaut. Yeah, Juggernaut is the best. Juggernaut is actually the superior villain in this film. Yeah, Juggernaut is the best villain in this film. Yeah, funny how both Deadpool films have like their secondary antagonists be like the best antagonist of the film. The first film with Angel Dust and this one being Juggernaut. I still think Angel Dust is the best Deadpool villain. Because yeah, Angel Dust is more of a badass, and she's more of a badass, and I like how she felt more human. I think that Angel Dust is Gina Carano's best role. And Gina Carano's best role. Yeah, even over the Mandalorian, and also I think that I believe that Angel Dust is stronger than Juggernaut, because if you actually get Angel Dust to like face off against Juggernaut, I'm sure Angel Dust I can see Angel Dust like beating Juggernaut. Yeah, I can like easily imagine it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what her weakness is. So yeah, she's just more of a badass. So, but I will say Juggernaut is this is the real Juggernaut. Screw X-Men The Last Dance Juggernaut. This is the real Juggernaut to me. His CGI is actually great, and he actually feels very terrifying. He actually feels a lot more terrifying, especially when he like ripped Deadpool's body in half. Yeah, that was sick right there. But yeah, but even if the first film had better action and better villains, and the comedy is on par, I'm not sure which one is better. Which Deadpool film is funnier. Deadpool 2, on the other hand, is a better film. When you look at both movies as just films, like writing and pretty much the important aspects you need in a film, not just a comic book film where you like, oh, I want this character to be this, or I want this to happen from like in the comics. Not really that. That stuff the first film does kind of better, but this one is slightly better film. A better made film. To me personally, this had a better storyline than the first one, in my opinion. Yes, it's more of a straightforward story, and it doesn't use the non-linear type of storytelling just like in the first film. It still manages to have a plot that feels tighter and more engaging. Wade slash Deadpool is a better written character that he was in the first, mainly because of how the movie shows his serious side when shit gets real. And the movie shows you that Deadpool isn't all just fun and games. Sure, yes, he's still comedic in this film. He still breaks the fourth wall, and he still makes jokes. Like he still he still manages to be the goofy Deadpool that he is. Especially with his pop culture references, which technically the pop culture references is actually considered to be a flaw with the film, but I didn't mind. Although yes, I can see why, because the first film didn't really have an overabundance of pop culture references. But yeah, Wade, but I like how this film showed a different side of Wade, and he is actually challenged in this film. Like the film actually challenges the character. The biggest challenge she had to face is the loss of Vanessa. This is actually the reason why Vanessa dies in the first one, which I know Harry Thomas hates the fact that Vanessa dies. But that's actually why Vanessa dies. It's because the film wants to challenge Wade. The film is trying to test Wade. And it turns out killing Vanessa would bring out the worst in Wade. It makes Wade a better written character. And I know well, at least the film still had girl power with Domino. Yeah, you gotta admit though, Domino's a badass, and also yeah, well it didn't make much use of Negasonic Warhead. That's one thing the first one did better, is that it made better use of female empowerment. But oh well, I mean, Domino's still a badass. I think Domino's probably one of my favorite characters in the film, and at least Vanessa's at least the Deadpool brought back Vanessa at the very end of the film when he time traveled to save Vanessa. So at least there's that. Oh, and I will talk about that post credit scene later on in the film, because yeah, I will definitely talk about that. Yeah. You, and by the way, yeah, they really do a good. This film really does a very good job at challenging Wade. You could clearly tell that Deadpool's aggressive behavior was because of how he still remained angry after Vanessa's death. For example, when he disrespected the Colossus, when Colossus told Wade not to kill people, but then now Deadpool still shot someone, resulting him to go to jail. Yeah. I mean the film that doesn't mention Vanessa's death a lot, but the film allows the audiences to figure out for itself that the situations that Wade is put in still has something to do with Vanessa's death, and that's actually pretty clever. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds gave a better performance in this film than the first. Not only because of how stronger written the character was, but having more scenes with Ryan's face instead of him being behind a mask really allows us to see him emote and act more, and he really does a good job. With the kind of character, the direction they took his character, yeah, this allows for him to give a more powerful and nuanced performance. the film is even more heartfelt and emotional than the first one, with a great message about family and finding someone who you can trust, as well as an emotional scene towards the end when Wade sacrifices his life for Fire Fist, and then we see this certain scene with Wade and Vanessa. Wade reuniting with Vanessa in the afterlife. Yeah, that scene right there, that actually might be my personal favorite scene in the film. And like, what's even better is the fact that they included the "Take on Me," like "Take on Me," yeah. And the film actually makes Tomorrow a great song. Now, I am not the biggest fan of Annie nor Tomorrow. I think the I mean, we can all agree that the 2014 version sucks, but the 98's Annie, honestly, it's not my cup of tea. I'm sorry, but I think it's extremely overrated. And I mean, I like "It's a Hard Knock Life," like "It's a Hard Knock Life." For us, I think it's a good song, but tomorrow, tomorrow. I mean, not a fan of that song. And the fact that "Tomorrow" is the signature song of Annie, just it should have been "It's a Hard Knock Life," but the way this film uses it, it actually makes me kind of like the song and appreciate it more, believe it or not. Yeah, Fire Fist is such a well written anti hero who you feel really bad for. He yeah, like the film kind of depicts Fire Fist as someone who may be evil, but actually but he still has heart in him. He's just traumatized by by the shit that the headmaster did to him, which is why Fire Fist is like that. And yeah, also the other supporting characters are great. I mentioned about how much of a badass Domino is. And yeah, and also Domino was a badass as well, especially when he crushed the truck on dope when he crashed the taxi on the headmaster, killing him. Yeah, that was a badass. And yeah, also, yeah, but the standout of the film is Cable. Yeah, Cable is quite possibly my favorite Deadpool character, next to Vanessa. Yeah, in this film in particular, Cable is my favorite because, yeah, maybe I'm biased because he's played by Josh Brolin, who plays Thanos in Infinity War Endgame. But I mean, Cable's a badass, and Josh Brolin is amazing, and you actually understand why Cable is doing these things. Yeah, Cable's also another anti-hero. When it seems like he actually is trying to antagonize Fire Fist, but it turns out he actually just wants to save his family, and his backstory is really well told, and it's very tragic as well. Yeah, you really feel bad for him in that backstory. Yeah, Ashes is probably the best song among the first two Deadpool films. Well, I'm very sure Deadpool and Wolverine will have the best soundtrack, especially when you put the Greatest Show from the Greatest Showman on it. And also that yeah, you're the one that I want from Greece. But Ashes is the best song among the first two the soundtrack in the first two Deadpool films, and it is honestly Celine Dion's best song since My Heart Will Go On. Yeah, it is my second favorite Celine Dion song, second only behind My Heart Will Go On, and one of the and maybe my second favorite song of 2018, second only to Sunflower. Well, that's just a maybe. Maybe there are better songs in 2018, but on the top of my head, from what I remember, yeah, it's Sunflower being the best, from Spider-Verse being the best song in 2018. Oh yeah, Back to Life from Bumblebee 2. Actually, yeah, scratch it. Ashes is my third favorite song of 2018. Yeah, Back to Life from Bumblebee would be my favorite song of 2018. And oh yeah, Shallow. Damn, how would I forget about Shallow? Damn it. Yeah, damn it. Yeah, Shallow is the best song of 2018. No competition. But actually, it's definitely one of them. Yeah, sorry, how can I screw that up by forgetting about Shadow? Screw me for that. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I forget myself. Yeah. Also, the film has a better directing. The film has better directing than the first one as well, especially when they hired a director who's better than Tim Miller. Yeah, David Leitch is such an underrated director. And yeah, David Leitch. Yeah, he's better than the first. He's way better than Tim Miller. At least David Leitch is still able to make great films. He's very consistent, and he especially directed the Fall Guy. Yeah, for a long time, this was my favorite David Leitch film, but then the Fall Guy recently topped it, dethroned it, and yeah, but Tim Miller though, he kind of brought down his career since he directed that piece of shit Terminator Dark Fate. Ugh. So yeah. So overall, Deadpool 2 is still a masterpiece and it's just as good as the first, but not better, just on par. And it's certainly one of the best movies of 2018 for sure, yeah. Again, I know Harry Thomas hates this film, but I also give him a shout out for it. Also give him a shout out for it because but yeah, but to me personally, yeah, I love this film. In fact, yeah, 2018 is one of the greatest years for superhero films. Yeah, I'm still not a fan of Aquaman. I don't like Aquaman that much. But then you got films like Black Panther, Infinity War, especially Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, and also some like harmless, fun films like Ant-Man and the Wasp. Oh yeah, also the first Venom. Not a fan of Venom 1 as well. Sorry, not a fan of Venom. And but yeah, there is one piece of shit superhero film that came out in 2018, and that is Teen Titans Go to the Movies. So yeah, with that said, I'm going to give Deadpool 2 5 stars out of 5. Yeah, out of 5. Masterpiece, flawless film. So yeah, that's all for my review of Deadpool 2. What are your thoughts on the film? Are you on my side that Deadpool 2 is just as good as the first film and it's tied? Do you think that the first Deadpool film is better, or do you actually prefer this over the first film, or are you on Harry Thomas's side in thinking that this is actually a bad film? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course, stay tuned for my review on dun 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 Yep, Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, this would actually be my most anticipated film of this entire year on reflection. Now I know in my top 10 most anticipated movies 2024 list at the start of the year, I put Dune Part 2 as my number one most anticipated film of this year. But honestly, if I were to go back in time, I would put Deadpool Wolverine as my number one most anticipated film of 2024. I wish I did that. So yeah, yeah, Deadpool Wolverine could possibly be the movie event of the year. We'll see how it goes. I already know it's gonna be the best Deadpool film and best X-Men film though. But let's just see how it is in my 2024 ranking. That's one thing I'll keep an open mind on. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention. Like, I apologize, I forgot to mention this, but the post-credit scene is bonkers. I mean, yeah, the post-credit scene is sick. Yeah, amazing post-credit scene. Like, it's so clever. Like when Deadpool shot the Green Lantern, and especially when Deadpool shot the X-Men Origins Wolverine version of Deadpool. Oh yeah, sick post-credit scene. One of the greatest post-credit scene Marvel has ever done. So anyways, yeah. Bye guys.